Welcome. Tonight, we'll explore the fascinating history of Apple, one of the most influential companies in the world. Relax as we journey through its innovations, from the first computers to the iPhones and iPads that connect billions today. Settle in, breathe deeply, and let the story unfold. By the end, you'll not only know Apple's history, but you'll also feel inspired by the vision, creativity, and resilience that shaped it all. In the early 1970s, in the sunny state of California, two young men were about to change the world. Their names were Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. Jobs was a visionary, someone who could see beyond the present and imagine how technology could shape the future. He had a natural talent for understanding people, for knowing what they wanted before. They even realized it themselves. Wozniak, often called Woz, was the technical genius, a brilliant engineer who could turn complex ideas into working machines. Together, they formed a partnership that would eventually become the foundation of one of the most influential companies in history, Apple. The story of Apple began in a small garage in Los Altos, California. Jobs and Wozniak shared a passion for electronics and a belief that computers should not be reserved for large corporations and universities. At the time, computers were enormous, expensive, and intimidating. They required specialized knowledge to operate, and for most people, they seemed completely out of reach. But Jobs and Wozniak imagined a different world, a world where computers could be personal, intuitive, and even beautiful. The first major step in their journey was the creation of the Apple I. Wozniak designed the computer himself, carefully crafting its circuits and components. Unlike the bulky machines of the era, the Apple I was relatively simple and designed for enthusiasts who wanted to build and learn. Instead of selling a finished product, they offered a kit that hobbyists could assemble at home. It was a revolutionary idea, making technology accessible and understandable. Jobs, on the other hand, focused on the presentation and the dream behind the product. He believed that design and user experience were just as important as engineering. While Wozniak was immersed in circuits and code, Jobs imagined how the computer would sit on a desk, how it would look in a home, and how people would feel when they used it. This combination of technical brilliance and visionary insight would become a defining feature of Apple for decades to come. The Apple I was first sold in small numbers to local electronics stores and hobbyists. Reactions were mixed. Some enthusiasts loved the concept, while others were unsure of its practicality. Despite the challenges, Jobs and Wozniak continued to refine their ideas. They invested their own money, sought advice from mentors, and tirelessly promoted the product. Slowly, the Apple name began to gain recognition. The success of the Apple I led naturally to the Apple II, a much more advanced machine. Unlike its predecessor, the Apple II was a fully assembled computer that anyone could use. It featured color, graphics, a built-in keyboard, and a sleek casing that made it look inviting and approachable. This was a huge step forward in personal computing. Suddenly, people could imagine having a computer in their home, not just in a laboratory or a university office. The Apple II became a significant success, helping Apple grow from a small garage startup into a rising star in the technology world. It was not just the technology that impressed people, but also the experience it offered. Jobs' vision of making computers elegant, intuitive, and desirable was finally being realized. Yet the journey was far from easy. The young company faced financial difficulties, manufacturing challenges, and skepticism from investors who struggled to see the potential of personal computing. During this early period, both Jobs and Wozniak learned valuable lessons about innovation and entrepreneurship. Jobs discovered the power of storytelling and presentation, realizing that a good product alone was not enough. It needed a narrative that could inspire and captivate. Wozniak, meanwhile, understood that technical mastery, while crucial, must be paired with business acumen and strategy if a company was to succeed. Together, they complemented each other in ways that would define Apple's culture for years to come. The founding of Apple is more than a story about computers. It is a story about dreams, determination, and vision. It is a tale of two young men who believed that even in a small garage, with limited resources and a world that did not yet understand their ideas, they could create something extraordinary. It is a reminder that innovation often begins with simple ideas, passion, and relentless curiosity. As you listen to this story, imagine the quiet hum of the garage in Los Altos. Picture the early morning light falling across wires and circuit boards. Hear the occasional laughter and conversation between Jobs and Wozniak as they experiment, fail, and try again. Feel the anticipation and the hope that every great innovation begins with an ordinary place filled with extraordinary ideas. It is a calm, thoughtful beginning, perfect for relaxing your mind, easing tension, and slowly drifting into a deep sleep. This story sets the stage for Apple's journey, from humble beginnings to a company that would redefine technology, design, and culture. It reminds us that even the smallest efforts, guided by vision and creativity, can change the world in ways we cannot yet imagine. Chapter 2. The Rise of Apple. After the success of the Apple I and Apple II, the young company found itself at the beginning of a remarkable journey. Apple had grown beyond the small garage in Los Altos, but the challenges of scaling a business were just beginning. Suddenly, Jobs and Wozniak were not just inventors, they were entrepreneurs, leaders, and dreamers, trying to navigate a world that was both excited and skeptical about personal computers. The Apple II had brought the idea of personal computing into homes, schools, and small businesses. It was not just a machine, it was a symbol of possibility. Children could learn, artists could experiment, and small businesses could manage their operations in ways that were once impossible. The Apple II's appeal lay not only in its technical sophistication, but also in its user-friendly design. It had color graphics, a keyboard, and a casing that felt approachable. In an era of cold, industrial machines, the Apple II was warm, inviting, and even inspiring. Jobs, ever the visionary, understood that to grow Apple he needed more than just great products. He needed attention, marketing, and investors who believed in the dream. In 1977, Apple held its first major product launch, revealing the Apple II to the world. The launch was a combination of excitement, nerves, and hope. Jobs knew that this could be the moment that defined the company's future. And indeed it was. The Apple II quickly gained popularity, and Apple began to establish itself as a serious player in the emerging personal computer market. The company faced internal challenges. Wozniak, the engineering genius, often preferred building machines to running a growing business. Jobs, on the other hand, thrived in the public eye, always pushing the company to think bigger. Their partnership was both a strength and a source of tension as they navigated the balance between innovation and management. Apple was learning, rapidly and sometimes painfully, what it meant to be a company in the fast-paced world of technology. One of Apple's early innovations was its focus on education. Jobs and Wozniak believed that students should have access to computers, learning not just about technology, but about creativity, problem-solving, and imagination. They made efforts to place Apple II computers in schools, offering software that was both educational and engaging. This strategy helped build a generation familiar with Apple products, laying the groundwork for long-term success. During this time, Apple also faced competition. Other companies began to see the potential of personal computing, creating machines that challenged Apple's designs. Yet, Apple distinguished itself through a combination of user-friendly design, thoughtful marketing, and attention to detail. Jobs had a unique understanding of people's desires. He knew that technology alone was not enough. It needed to be beautiful, functional, and emotionally appealing. Every decision, from the shape of the casing to the clarity of the graphics, reflected this philosophy. The company's growth attracted attention from investors, leading to Apple's first major funding rounds. Venture capital allowed the company to expand production, hire talented engineers, and refine its products. Apple moved from a small startup to a company with offices, assembly lines, and a rapidly growing customer base. The dream of bringing personal computing to the world was becoming a reality, and the company's culture of innovation was taking root. As Apple expanded, Jobs' reputation as a visionary grew alongside the company. He was known for his intensity, his attention to detail, and his relentless pursuit of perfection. He pushed his teams hard, demanding excellence in every product. While this could be challenging for those who worked with him, it also inspired breakthroughs that few could have imagined. Wozniak, more reserved, continued to innovate behind the scenes, creating the technical foundations that allowed Apple to thrive. Apple's story during this period is also a story of creativity and experimentation. The company explored new software, graphics capabilities, and early forms of user interfaces. Jobs believed in simplicity, striving to make technology understandable and enjoyable. Every Apple product reflected this philosophy, combining technical precision with a human touch. By the early 1980s, Apple had firmly established itself as a leader in the personal computer industry. The Apple II remained a cornerstone, and the company was preparing for even more ambitious projects. Jobs and his team were beginning to dream of the next revolution, a computer that could be used by anyone, anywhere, with a graphical interface that made technology intuitive and powerful. The seeds of the Macintosh, which would later change computing forever, were being planted during these years. Apple's rise is a testament to vision, persistence, and collaboration. From a small garage to a rapidly growing company, the story shows how ideas, when paired with hard work and creativity, can transform the world. It is a story of patience, of learning from challenges, and of pushing boundaries beyond what seemed possible. As you listen, imagine the excitement in Apple's early offices, the clatter of keyboards, the conversations about circuits, and the endless possibilities that lay ahead. Picture Jobs and Wozniak working side by side, dreaming of a world where technology could empower people in ways they had never experienced. Feel the quiet thrill of invention, the calm determination that drives innovation, and let your mind relax, ready to drift into sleep. Apple's journey during these early years reminds us that success does not come overnight. It comes from passion, from dedication, and from a willingness to imagine a future that others cannot yet see. It is a story not just of computers, but of human creativity, collaboration, and the enduring power of ideas. Chapter 3. The birth of the Macintosh. In the early 1980s, Apple found itself at a crossroads. The Apple II had achieved remarkable success, but Jobs wanted more. He was restless, always thinking about the future. He envisioned a personal computer that was not just functional, but intuitive, elegant, and accessible to everyone. A computer that could bring the power of technology into homes and offices in a way that felt natural. The idea was ambitious, revolutionary even, and it would eventually become the Macintosh. The inspiration for the Macintosh came from many sources. Jobs admired the work being done at Xerox PARC, a research center that had developed advanced graphical interfaces. He saw the potential for computers with windows, icons, and a mouse, elements that made interacting with technology more like interacting with the world. Jobs was fascinated by the idea of a machine that could be used by anyone, regardless of technical knowledge. He believed that computers should empower people, not intimidate them. Jobs assembled a team of talented engineers, designers, and visionaries. Among them were people who shared his passion for creating something truly groundbreaking. This group, often referred to as the Macintosh team, worked in a separate building away from the rest of Apple. Jobs encouraged secrecy, focus, and intense collaboration. Everyone knew that they were working on something special, and that this project could define the company's future. The development process was rigorous. Apple wanted the Macintosh to be perfect, and perfection was not easy to achieve. Engineers experimented with new hardware, developing microprocessors, memory systems, and graphics capabilities that were cutting edge for the time. Designers focused on the user experience, creating intuitive interfaces and simple, elegant designs. Jobs was deeply involved, reviewing every detail, questioning every choice, and pushing his team to think differently. One of the defining features of the Macintosh was its graphical user interface, or GUI. Unlike text-based systems, the GUI allowed users to interact with the computer through visual elements, icons, windows, menus, and a mouse. This approach made computing more intuitive, reducing the need for complex commands or technical expertise. Jobs believed that the Macintosh could democratize computing, making it accessible to students, artists, writers, and professionals. The design of the Macintosh was also revolutionary. Jobs insisted on a compact, all-in-one machine that was visually appealing and functional. The original Macintosh had a small screen, a built-in floppy drive, and a keyboard and mouse that complemented the design. Its white and beige casing gave it a clean, modern look, and its simplicity was part of its charm. Jobs understood that aesthetics mattered. He knew that people respond emotionally to objects that are beautiful, well-crafted, and thoughtfully designed. Software was another critical aspect of the Macintosh. Apple developed programs that showcased the potential of the GUI, such as MacPaint and MacWrite. MacPaint allowed users to create digital artwork, while MacWrite provided a simple word processing tool. These applications demonstrated the possibilities of the Macintosh, turning abstract ideas into tangible experiences. Jobs knew that hardware alone would not be enough. Software had to engage, inspire, and delight users. The launch of the Macintosh. In January 1984 was a moment of anticipation and spectacle. Apple introduced the computer with an iconic commercial during the Super Bowl, directed by Ridley Scott. The ad portrayed a dystopian world transformed by innovation, ending with the famous line, "On January 24th, Apple Computer will introduce Macintosh, and you'll see why 1984 won't be like 1984. The commercial captured the imagination of the public, creating excitement and curiosity about the new computer. The initial reception of the Macintosh was enthusiastic, though not without challenges. The computer was innovative and powerful, but it was also expensive. Some critics questioned whether the public was ready for such a radical departure from traditional computers. Jobs and his team faced the delicate task of educating consumers, demonstrating the value of the Macintosh, and building a loyal following. Despite the obstacles, the Macintosh began to carve out a niche, attracting creative professionals, educators, and technology enthusiasts. The Macintosh represented more than just a product. It represented a philosophy. Jobs wanted technology to be human-centered, to blend seamlessly into daily life, and to inspire creativity. The team's dedication to design, user experience, and innovation set Apple apart from competitors and established a standard that would influence the industry for decades. Every element of the Macintosh, from its hardware to its software, reflected a commitment to excellence and vision. Internally, the Macintosh project was both exhilarating and stressful. Jobs was known for his intensity, and the team worked long, hours under high pressure. Conflicts arose as passionate individuals debated design choices, technical solutions, and priorities. Yet, these challenges also fostered creativity, problem-solving, and collaboration. The team learned to adapt, innovate, and support each other, creating a unique culture that valued both perfection and experimentation. The Macintosh's impact extended beyond Apple. It influenced the broader technology landscape, inspiring other companies to explore graphical interfaces, user-friendly designs, and innovative software. The computer helped shape the future of personal computing, paving the way for systems that would become ubiquitous in homes, schools, and workplaces. Jobs' vision of accessible, intuitive technology was beginning to take hold, changing the way people interacted with machines. As you listen, imagine the bustling energy of the Macintosh team, the hum of computers, the click of keyboards, and the excitement of innovation. Picture engineers testing prototypes, designers sketching interfaces, and Jobs passionately explaining his vision. Feel the dedication, the creativity, and the calm determination that drove the project forward. Let your mind relax as you visualize the slow, steady progress toward a revolutionary machine. The birth of the Macintosh is a story of vision, perseverance, and creativity. It reminds us that great innovations often emerge from collaboration, risk-taking, and the courage to imagine a different future. The Macintosh was not just a product, it was a statement, a dream made tangible, and a foundation for the next chapter in Apple's remarkable journey. By the mid-1980s, Apple had transformed from a small startup into a company capable of shaping an entire industry. The Macintosh represented the culmination of years of learning, experimentation, and vision. It showed the world that technology could be beautiful, accessible, and empowering. And it set the stage for the innovations that would follow, defining Apple's identity as a company committed to creativity, design, and excellence. The success of the Macintosh marked a high point for Apple, but it also introduced new tensions within the company. As the Mac gained attention, so too did the differences in leadership, vision, and strategy among Apple's executives. Jobs, who had always been the passionate, demanding force behind innovation, found himself increasingly at odds with others in the company. The tension between creativity and corporate management would soon define a critical period in Apple's history. Jobs' management style was intense and sometimes confrontational. He demanded perfection, pushed his team to their limits, and often clashed with those who disagreed with him. While many respected his vision, some executives grew frustrated with his methods. As Apple expanded, its board and management began to assert more control, seeking balance between innovation and financial stability. During this period, Apple also strengthened its relationships with software developers. Jobs understood that hardware alone was not enough. A rich ecosystem of applications and tools was essential for user satisfaction. By engaging developers and providing powerful development platforms, Apple ensured that the iMac and other products would be supported by a vibrant software ecosystem. This approach enhanced the value of Apple's devices and helped build a loyal user base. The return of Jobs and the success of the iMac marked the beginning of a broader transformation for Apple. The company began to introduce new products that combined design, functionality, and user experience in innovative ways. The iBook, Power Mac, and later the iPod all reflected the principles Jobs had championed: simplicity, elegance, and attention to detail. Each product reinforced Apple's identity and strengthened its position in the market. Beyond hardware, Jobs focused on storytelling and brand experience. Apple's marketing emphasized not just features, but the emotional connection users could have with technology. Advertisements highlighted creativity, possibility, and personal expression. This approach helped differentiate Apple from competitors, creating a brand that was aspirational, memorable, and distinctive. Consumers were not just buying devices, they were buying into a philosophy of design, innovation, and experience. Jobs' return also involved making difficult decisions. Some products were discontinued, teams were restructured, and priorities were shifted. These decisions were guided by a clear vision: to create products that were extraordinary, focused, and meaningful. Jobs' willingness to make tough choices reinforced Apple's commitment to excellence and set the stage for the next wave of innovation. The success of the iMac demonstrated the power of combining vision, design, and user experience. It proved that consumers valued products that were both functional and beautiful, that technology could be approachable and enjoyable, and that bold ideas could transform a company's fortunes. Apple's resurgence was not just a financial recovery, it was a cultural and creative revival, led by a visionary who understood the intersection of technology, art, and human experience. As you listen, imagine the colorful iMac's lining store, shelves, the excitement of first-time users exploring the internet, and the quiet hum of innovation in Apple's offices. Picture Jobs walking through design studios, discussing ideas with engineers and designers, and pushing his teams to achieve more than they thought possible. Let the calm rhythm of progress guide your mind, and allow the story of Apple's revival to unfold gently, chapter by chapter. The rise of the iMac is more than a business success. It is a story of resilience, vision, and the transformative power of design. Jobs' return to Apple reminds us that even in challenging times, innovation can thrive when guided by clarity, focus, and passion. The iMac laid the foundation for Apple's future, shaping the company's identity and inspiring the products that would follow. By the end of this chapter, let your mind rest on the idea that innovation requires both courage and clarity. Picture the steady evolution of Apple's products, the thoughtful decisions behind each design, and the quiet determination of people striving for excellence. Feel the rhythm of creativity, the flow of ideas, and the sense of possibility that defined Apple's resurgence. This chapter sets the stage for the next era, where Apple would redefine not just computing, but music, communication, and the way people interact with technology. Chapter 6: The Birth of the iPod. At the turn of the millennium, Apple faced a new challenge. The music industry was changing rapidly. Digital music was emerging, but it was fragmented, difficult to access legally, and often stored in incompatible formats. The idea of carrying an entire music library in one device seemed futuristic, almost impossible. Apple, under Steve Jobs' leadership, saw an opportunity to transform the way people listen to music, creating a seamless experience that combined hardware, software, and content. The concept for the iPod began with a simple question: how could people carry their music with them easily? Jobs envisioned a device that was small, intuitive, and elegant, allowing users to store thousands of songs in their pocket. The challenge was not only technical, but also creative, designing a product that was functional, beautiful, and appealing to a wide audience. Apple's engineers and designers worked closely to develop the first iPod, focusing on simplicity and usability. The device needed a responsive interface, long battery life, and enough storage to make it practical. The famous click wheel was introduced, allowing users to navigate their music library effortlessly. The design was sleek and minimal, reflecting Apple's commitment to elegance and ease of use. The first iPod, released in 2001, featured a 5 GB hard drive, enough to store around 1,000 songs. It was compatible with Mac computers initially, though Windows support would come later. The iPod was not just a music player. It was a statement about how technology could integrate seamlessly into daily life. Its compact size, simple controls, and stylish design made it instantly recognizable and desirable. The launch of the iPod coincided with Apple's expansion into digital music software. iTunes, initially a music management tool for Macs, became an integral part of the iPod experience. It allowed users to organize, sync, and purchase music legally, providing a seamless ecosystem that was unmatched by competitors. The combination of iPod hardware and iTunes software created a complete solution, revolutionizing the way people consumed music. Jobs' vision extended beyond functionality. He understood that music was deeply personal and emotional. The iPod was designed to be more than a device. It was a companion, a source of enjoyment, and a way for people to connect with their favorite artists. Its design, portability, and intuitive interface allowed users to experience music in a new and immersive way. Marketing for the iPod emphasized lifestyle, creativity, and freedom. The iconic silhouette advertisements, featuring white iPods and earbuds against vibrant backgrounds, captured the public's imagination. These ads communicated not just the product's features, but the feeling it evoked: joy, individuality, and effortless access to music. The campaign became instantly recognizable, reinforcing Apple's reputation for innovation and design excellence. The iPod's success was immediate and transformative. Consumers embraced the device enthusiastically, and sales grew rapidly. Apple had entered a new market with a product that redefined how people listened to music. The iPod demonstrated the power of combining design, technology, and user experience to create a product that resonated emotionally with its audience. The impact of the iPod extended beyond the device itself. It influenced the music industry, prompting changes in distribution, pricing, and marketing. Digital music stores became mainstream. Artists gained new ways to reach audiences, and consumers enjoyed unprecedented access to music. Apple had not only created a successful product, but had also reshaped an entire industry, reinforcing its role as a leader in innovation. Jobs' approach to the iPod reflected his broader philosophy: simplicity, focus, and integration. Every element of the device, from hardware to software to marketing, was carefully considered. The iPod was not just a music player, it was an experience, a cohesive ecosystem that combined technology, design, and emotion. This holistic approach became a hallmark of Apple's products, influencing future innovations such as the iPhone and iPad. As you listen, imagine the first iPods being unboxed, the smooth click wheel in your hand, and the excitement of syncing your music library. Picture the vibrant advertisements on billboards, in magazines, and on television, capturing attention and inspiring curiosity. Feel the rhythm of innovation and creativity that defined Apple during this era, and allow your mind to follow the story of music, technology, and human connection. The iPod also marked a turning point for Apple's brand identity. It shifted the perception of the company from a computer manufacturer to a lifestyle brand, capable of creating products that were not only functional but emotionally engaging. The success of the iPod demonstrated that technology could be personal, stylish, and enjoyable, setting the stage for future products that would further integrate into daily life. Jobs' leadership during the development of the iPod reinforced the importance of vision, collaboration, and attention to detail. He encouraged teams to experiment, iterate, and refine ideas, pushing the boundaries of what was possible. Every design choice, every feature, and every marketing decision was guided by a commitment to excellence and user experience. This culture of innovation became deeply ingrained in Apple's DNA, influencing every product that followed. The iPod's legacy extends beyond its immediate commercial success. It introduced a new paradigm for portable music, inspired countless competitors, and shaped consumer expectations for personal electronics. Its design, simplicity, and emotional appeal demonstrated the power of creating products that resonate deeply with users, blending technology and artistry in a way that few companies had achieved before. By the end of this chapter, let your mind rest on the image of a sleek iPod in your hand, the music flowing effortlessly through earbuds, and the seamless interaction between device, software, and user. Imagine the quiet excitement of discovering new songs, organizing playlists, and exploring music in a way that feels personal and intuitive. Allow the calm rhythm of innovation and creativity to guide you as the story of Apple continues to unfold, building towards a future filled with bold ideas, transformative products, and enduring inspiration. The iPod is a testament to the power of vision, design, and user experience. It reminds us that innovation is not just about technology, it's about understanding people, anticipating needs, and creating experiences that enrich daily life. As Apple continued to evolve, the lessons learned from the iPod would inform every product, every decision, and every story the company shared with the world. Chapter 7. The launch of the iTunes Store. By the early 2000s, Apple had already revolutionized personal music with the iPod, but Steve Jobs and his team understood that hardware alone could not transform the music industry. Users needed an easy, legal way to access music digitally, and the existing landscape was fragmented, confusing, and often illegal. The solution was a platform that combined convenience, legality, and seamless integration with the iPod. the iTunes Store. The idea was deceptively simple: create an online store where users could buy individual songs or albums and transfer them directly to their iPods. However, implementing this vision required extensive negotiation with record labels, careful attention to user experience, and the creation of a secure and scalable digital platform. Jobs emphasized simplicity and elegance, insisting that the process of buying music should feel natural, enjoyable, and intuitive. When the iTunes Store launched in April 2003, it offered 200,000 songs available for purchase at 99 cents each. The store was integrated directly into the iTunes software, which meant that users could browse, preview, buy, and sync music with their iPods seamlessly. The legal, easy-to-use platform quickly gained traction, appealing to a wide audience that included both casual listeners and dedicated music fans. The launch of the iTunes Store marked a turning point for Apple and the music industry. For the first time, users had a reliable, legal, and convenient method to acquire digital music. The store challenged traditional distribution methods, encouraged competition, and demonstrated that digital music could be profitable. Apple's vision of an integrated ecosystem, combining hardware, software, and content, was now fully realized. Jobs understood that the iTunes Store was not just about selling songs. It was about shaping the way people experienced music. The interface was clean and intuitive, allowing users to explore new artists, create playlists, and organize their music library effortlessly. The store also offered recommendations, previews, and curated content, making the discovery of music as enjoyable as listening to it. The impact on the music industry was immediate. Record labels initially resisted the idea, fearing loss of control and revenue, but Apple's strategy proved persuasive. By offering a convenient, legal alternative to piracy, iTunes gained rapid adoption and changed consumer behavior permanently. Artists could reach global audiences, and users could access music anytime, anywhere, without complicated setups or illegal downloads. As you imagine this moment, picture users discovering iTunes for the first time, exploring digital shelves filled with songs and syncing them effortlessly to their iPods. Think of the quiet satisfaction of buying a favorite song, the anticipation of pressing play, and the seamless experience that Apple crafted so carefully. Let your mind rest on this innovation, feeling the calm and order of a system designed to make life simpler and more enjoyable. The iTunes Store also set the stage for Apple's future expansion into other forms of digital media. By establishing a successful model for legal, convenient, and integrated content delivery, Apple laid the foundation for apps, movies, books, and podcasts in the years to come. The lessons learned from negotiating with labels, designing an intuitive interface, and ensuring secure transactions would inform every digital initiative that followed. With the success of iTunes, Apple solidified its position as a leader in digital media. The combination of the iPod and iTunes created an ecosystem that competitors struggled to match, demonstrating the power of integration and user experience. This period highlighted Jobs' talent for anticipating market needs, aligning technology with human behavior, and transforming industries through carefully designed products and platforms. Chapter 8: The iPhone Vision. While Apple was redefining music, Steve Jobs had already begun envisioning a new device that would transform communication, computing, and media consumption: the iPhone. The idea was ambitious and unprecedented. Combine a mobile phone, a music player, and an internet communicator into a single, elegant device. This vision required innovation in hardware, software, and design, as well as the courage to challenge established industries. The iPhone project began with a focus on simplicity and usability. Jobs emphasized a device that could be intuitive, even for first-time users, eliminating the complexity of traditional smartphones. Physical keyboards were replaced with a touchscreen interface, allowing users to interact directly with content. Every element, from the user interface to the internal components, was designed with elegance and efficiency in mind. Apple's engineers faced enormous technical challenges. Integrating cellular communication, touch controls, music playback, and internet functionality into one device required novel solutions and cutting-edge engineering. The project, codenamed Project Purple, involved secrecy, rigorous testing, and collaboration across multiple teams. Every detail mattered, from the tactile feel of the screen to the responsiveness of the software. The design process was meticulous. Jobs insisted on smooth edges, a minimalist aesthetic, and intuitive gestures. The touchscreen had to be sensitive and accurate, the battery had to last all day, and the device had to be compact yet functional. Apple's approach combined industrial design with software innovation, creating a product that felt cohesive, natural, and remarkably elegant. When the iPhone was introduced in January 2007, it was nothing short of revolutionary. The device combined a phone, an iPod, and an internet communicator into a single stylish package. The multi-touch screen allowed for pinch-to-zoom, scrolling, and tapping, making navigation intuitive and engaging. Users could browse the web, send emails, listen to music, and interact with apps, all on one device. Jobs' presentation of the iPhone captivated audiences worldwide. He demonstrated the device's features with a calm, deliberate style, emphasizing simplicity and elegance. The iconic introduction, calling it 3 devices in one, highlighted Apple's ability to integrate technology seamlessly into daily life. Consumers were captivated by the idea of a device that could do so much while remaining easy to use. The iPhone's impact was profound. It set new standards for mobile devices, inspiring competitors to rethink design, functionality, and user experience. The integration of hardware and software, combined with Apple's focus on aesthetics and simplicity, created a benchmark that others struggled to match. The iPhone demonstrated that technology could be powerful, personal, and enjoyable, all at the same time. The App Store, launched in 2008, extended the iPhone's capabilities even further. Developers could create applications that enhanced productivity, entertainment, and social connection, providing users with an almost limitless array of tools and experiences. This ecosystem strengthened the device's appeal, reinforcing Apple's strategy of combining hardware, software, and services to create cohesive, compelling experiences. Imagine holding the first iPhone, feeling the smooth glass surface, and exploring the responsive touchscreen. Picture the excitement of discovering apps, browsing the web effortlessly, and listening to music seamlessly. Envision the calm satisfaction of a device that integrates so many functions into one, simplifying life and creating new possibilities. Allow the rhythm of innovation and creativity to settle, guiding you gently through this transformative moment in technology. Jobs' vision for the iPhone also emphasized accessibility and inclusivity. He wanted a device that could be used by anyone, regardless of technical knowledge. The interface was intuitive, icons were clear, and gestures were natural. This approach broadened the audience, making the iPhone appealing to people of all ages and backgrounds. The focus on human-centered design became a hallmark of Apple's philosophy. The iPhone story illustrates the power of vision, perseverance, and attention to detail. Every feature, from the hardware design to the user interface to the marketing, was carefully considered. Apple's approach demonstrated that innovation is not just about technology. It's about understanding people, anticipating needs and creating experiences that enrich daily life. By combining the iPod, iTunes, and the iPhone, Apple had created an ecosystem that redefined media consumption, communication, and personal technology. Each product built upon the lessons of the previous one, demonstrating the company's ability to innovate consistently, execute flawlessly, and inspire users worldwide. As you listen, let your mind follow the path of innovation from digital music to mobile computing. Imagine the iTunes Store offering endless music, the iPod carrying it effortlessly, and the iPhone integrating communication, entertainment, and productivity. Feel the calm excitement of progress and creativity, allowing your thoughts to drift gently through Apple's journey of transformation. The story of Apple during this period reminds us that technology can be beautiful, personal, and empowering. It illustrates how vision, design, and careful attention to detail can create products that resonate deeply with users. As the iPhone and App Store continue to evolve, the lessons from these early innovations continue to guide Apple's philosophy, shaping the way people interact with technology around the world. Chapter 9: Apple in the Modern Era. By the 2010s, Apple had firmly established itself as a global technology leader, transforming industries from music and phones to personal computing and entertainment. The company's products had evolved in design, functionality, and ecosystem integration, continually raising the standard for competitors and delighting users around the world. iPhones were becoming increasingly powerful. iPads redefined mobile computing, Macs remained a staple for creators, and wearables like the Apple Watch introduced new ways to interact with technology. During this period, Apple embraced incremental innovation, refining hardware, software, and services in tandem. iPhones grew thinner, faster, and smarter, integrating more advanced cameras, processors, and sensors. Features such as Face ID, wireless charging, and edge-to-edge displays demonstrated Apple's commitment to pushing technological boundaries while maintaining elegant design. Every update was deliberate, reflecting Jobs' philosophy of simplicity, intuitiveness, and refinement. Apple's software ecosystem also flourished. iOS and macOS were optimized to work seamlessly with each other, allowing users to transition effortlessly between devices. iCloud enabled data syncing, storage, and collaboration across multiple devices, further enhancing convenience and integration. Services such as Apple Music, Apple TV Plus, and Apple Arcade expanded the company's influence into entertainment, giving users access to curated content without leaving the Apple ecosystem. The company's approach to user experience became more than just convenience. It became an art form. Each device was designed to feel intuitive even for first-time users, while remaining powerful for experts. Apple's attention to detail was evident in every corner. Smooth animations, natural gestures, and consistent interfaces made interacting with technology a satisfying and almost meditative experience. Apple's impact on global culture was profound. Its devices influenced how people communicate, consume media, and manage daily life. The iPhone redefined photography, social media, and mobile productivity, while the App Store created opportunities for millions of developers worldwide. Apple's ecosystem encouraged loyalty as users appreciated the seamless integration and reliability across devices. In parallel, Apple began addressing concerns about privacy and security. With growing awareness of digital data risks, the company emphasized encryption, transparency, and control over personal information. Features like app tracking transparency and secure authentication underscored Apple's commitment to protecting users, setting a new industry standard for privacy-conscious design. During this era, Apple's financial success mirrored its cultural impact. The company became the first to reach $1 trillion market value, reflecting the immense popularity and trust in its products. However, beyond numbers, Apple's influence was measured by the way its technology had become deeply woven into the fabric of modern life. The company had redefined expectations for performance, design, and user experience across multiple industries, influencing everything from mobile communication to entertainment to personal computing. Imagine sitting in a quiet room, holding a big-sized modern iPhone. Feel the smooth glass surface, the gentle vibration as you interact with apps, and the fluidity of gestures that respond intuitively to your touch. Picture the interconnectedness of devices, seamlessly transferring data, messages, and media. Let your mind drift through this ecosystem, appreciating the thoughtfulness, precision, and vision behind every feature. The calm harmony of Apple's modern products is almost meditative, a testament to decades of careful design and innovation. Apple also fostered creativity in new ways. Tools like the MacBook Pro, iPad Pro, and Final Cut Pro enabled artists, filmmakers, musicians, and designers to create professional work anywhere. The integration of hardware and software meant users could focus on expression, while the technology supported their vision. This approach reflected Apple's enduring philosophy. Technology should empower, simplify, and enrich human creativity. As we explore Apple in the modern era, consider the balance between innovation and refinement. Each product is not only a technological marvel, but also a thoughtfully designed experience, integrating seamlessly into daily life. The company's ability to anticipate user needs and deliver elegant solutions has solidified its place as a leader in design, innovation, and culture. Chapter 10. The Future Vision of Apple. Looking ahead, Apple continues to explore new frontiers in technology, seeking to blend hardware, software, and services in ways that enhance life, work, and entertainment. While the company is famously secretive about future products, trends and emerging projects suggest several directions that could shape the next decade. Augmented reality, AR, and virtual reality, VR, represent one promising frontier. Apple has invested heavily in ARKit, creating tools for developers to craft immersive experiences that overlay digital content onto the real world. Imagine exploring cities with digital guides, interacting with educational content, or enhancing everyday tasks with contextual information. AR could redefine gaming, learning, shopping, and communication, bringing digital elements into physical life seamlessly. Wearable technology is another area of growth. The Apple Watch has already transformed health and fitness tracking, enabling users to monitor heart rate, sleep, and activity levels. Future iterations could integrate even more advanced biometric sensors, detecting blood sugar, stress levels, or other health indicators in real time. Apple's emphasis on privacy ensures that this sensitive information remains secure, empowering users to manage health proactively. Artificial intelligence, AI, continues to expand Apple's capabilities across devices. Siri and machine learning. Algorithms enable predictive text, personalized recommendations, and automation. Future AI could provide even deeper insights, anticipating user needs, enhancing productivity, and simplifying complex tasks. Apple's approach emphasizes subtle assistance rather than intrusive automation, maintaining user control and trust. Sustainability is increasingly central to Apple's vision. The company is committed to carbon neutrality, environmentally friendly materials, and energy-efficient production. Future devices will likely continue this trend, combining performance with reduced environmental impact. Apple's attention to sustainability reflects a broader understanding that technology should not only serve humans, but also support the planet. Apple's ecosystem will continue to expand, integrating hardware, software, and services into a unified experience. The combination of AR, AI, wearables, and services promises a future where technology is seamless, adaptive, and deeply personalized. Imagine a day where your devices anticipate needs, manage tasks efficiently, and provide immersive entertainment, all while protecting privacy and simplifying life. The company's commitment to design, elegance, and usability will remain central. Apple's philosophy emphasizes that innovation is not just about functionality. It's about creating experiences that delight, engage, and empower. Every new product is an opportunity to redefine expectations, challenge conventions, and explore new possibilities. Think about the next decade of Apple technology. Picture augmented reality devices enhancing learning, communication, and entertainment. Envision wearables monitoring health and optimizing daily routines. Imagine AI systems predicting needs and simplifying life while maintaining privacy. Let your mind wander through this vision calmly, appreciating the thoughtfulness and ambition that underpins Apple's future direction. Apple's journey illustrates the enduring power of vision, creativity, and meticulous execution. From the early days of the Macintosh to the launch of the iPhone, the company has consistently demonstrated the ability to anticipate trends, integrate technology seamlessly, and craft experiences that resonate with users. The future promises even more innovation, continuing the legacy of design, simplicity, and human-centered technology. In quiet reflection, consider how Apple's story mirrors the evolution of technology itself, a path marked by curiosity, perseverance, and careful attention to human needs. Every device, platform, and service is part of a broader narrative of progress, creativity, and innovation. As you listen, feel the calm rhythm of discovery and transformation, allowing your thoughts to drift gently through the story of Apple's present and future. Chapter 11. Apple's Legacy and Inspirational Vision as we reach the final chapter. Of this journey, it's worth pausing to reflect on the profound legacy Apple has created. Over decades, the company has not merely built products, it has shaped how the world interacts with technology, creativity, and culture. From the first Macintosh to the iPhone, iPad, Apple Watch, and beyond, each innovation tells a story of curiosity, persistence, and a relentless pursuit of excellence. Apple's influence is visible not only in devices, but in the way we think about technology. It teaches us that design is not just about aesthetics, but about understanding people deeply, their needs, desires, and habits. Every feature, every interface, every gesture is carefully considered to create harmony between humans and machines. In doing so, Apple has set new standards for industries around the world, showing that thoughtful innovation can combine functionality with beauty, performance with simplicity. The company's story is a testament to the power of vision. Steve Jobs famously said that innovation distinguishes leaders from followers. Apple's trajectory embodies this idea. It challenges norms, breaks conventions, and dares to dream of what technology can achieve. Yet it does so without losing sight of the human element. Devices are not just powerful, they are intuitive, responsive, and designed to delight. Every detail matters, from the tactile feel of a button to the subtle animations that guide a user's eye. Beyond products, Apple has inspired creativity. Its computers and software have empowered artists, filmmakers, musicians, and writers to express themselves in ways that were unimaginable decades ago. The tools it provides amplify human potential, allowing ideas to be realized and shared globally. This influence is intangible yet profound. A single iPhone photograph can evoke emotion, a short video can spark social change, and a piece of software can revolutionize an industry. Apple also teaches resilience. The company has faced challenges, setbacks, and fierce competition, yet it has always emerged stronger by staying true to its principles. This resilience is a reminder that innovation is not linear. It is a journey of experimentation, learning, and adaptation. The lessons of persistence, attention to detail, and dedication to quality resonate far beyond technology. They can inspire anyone pursuing excellence in any field. At its core, Apple represents a philosophy that technology should serve humanity, that tools should empower rather than overwhelm, and that simplicity is often the ultimate sophistication. Its products are not just gadgets, they are instruments of possibility, shaping the way we live, learn, and connect. As you reflect on this, imagine the ripple effects. A student discovering coding on a MacBook, an entrepreneur launching a business with just an iPhone and an idea, or a musician creating melodies that reach millions worldwide. Each moment reinforces Apple's enduring impact. Looking forward, the company's vision remains as bold as ever. Future innovations promise even deeper integration of augmented reality, artificial intelligence, and wearable technology into daily life. Imagine a world where your devices anticipate your needs, provide guidance seamlessly, and enhance your creative endeavors without interruption. Picture technology that not only simplifies tasks, but also enriches your experiences, helping you explore new horizons and connect with others in meaningful ways. Apple's story is also a call to dream. It reminds us that thinking differently can change the world, that perseverance can transform setbacks into triumphs, and that careful attention to craft creates experiences that resonate deeply. Whether you are a creator, a student, an entrepreneur, or simply a curious observer, there is inspiration to be found in every chapter of Apple's history. As you listen to this final chapter, let yourself feel the rhythm of innovation, the calm, confidence of meticulous design, and the quiet power of vision. Imagine the Apple of tomorrow, devices that blend seamlessly into life, experiences that delight the senses, and tools that unlock human potential in ways we are only beginning to imagine. The company's journey is ongoing, and its legacy is alive in every idea, every creation, and every person it touches. Take a moment to appreciate the beauty of this story. It is more than technology. It is a narrative of creativity, resilience, and imagination. Apple has not only built products, but has also crafted an enduring vision that with curiosity, dedication, and thoughtful design, we can create tools that elevate human potential and transform the way we live. In closing, let this story linger in your mind as you drift toward rest. Imagine the elegance of design, the hum of innovation, and the harmony of devices working seamlessly around you. Allow yourself to feel the inspiration, the calm and the wonder that Apple evokes. And as you do, remember that every great creation begins with a vision, nurtured by patience, persistence, and an unwavering belief in what is possible. This is Apple's legacy, and now in a quiet way, it has become a part of yours too. Thank you for listening, and make sure to like and subscribe for gaining more knowledge while sleeping. See you in the next one.